Now, your forecast first from KARK4, your weather authority.
Cloudy and mild across Arkansas once again this evening. We are in for a very warm night as temperatures are only expected to drop through the 50s, but some mighty cold air now beginning to spill southward from Canada into the northern United States. It's headed for Arkansas. In fact, by Monday morning, some places could see wind chills around 10 degrees. But for tonight, your forecast first here in town. Cloudy skies, areas of fog and drizzle, a couple of showers toward morning, low temperatures in the mid-50s. KARK4 News at 6 starts now.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters, this is KARK4 News at 6.
Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jessica Dean. Bob has the evening off. A triple murder sending shockwaves through a small Arkansas town this evening. It is a story we are continuing to follow tonight. It happened overnight in the Clark County city of Arkadelphia, where a woman came home to find her husband and two daughters stabbed to death. KARK4's Josh Berry live at the scene with the latest. Josh, this is just a heartbreaking story.
It is, Jessica, and now they still have this crime scene blocked off with yellow crime tape. This street on 11th Street and South 11th Street in Arkadelphia full of law enforcement vehicles. They've got the Clark County Sheriff, Arkadelphia Police, and investigators. They're all apparently inside this home tonight. Now, I do have a bit of new information tonight from a source very close to the family who's still, in fact, on the scene tonight. She's been answering questions with police all day long alongside the wife, Anna Galbraith, who actually found her family dead inside her home Thursday night. She laid out for me what she knows to try and quell some rumors around town about this investigation. She confirmed Anna Galbraith actually had gone to the Christmas parade and a Girl Scout meeting before coming home to first find her infant on the floor, which turned out to be okay. Her husband dead in his studio inside the home, and then her eldest 6-year-old daughter dead inside the doorway to the children's room. It wasn't till police arrived that they found the 4-year-old also dead. As far as how or why this happened, authorities are very tight-lipped about this triple homicide, only saying they'll continue to investigate until they settle this out. Clark County officials have their hands full, as this is the 4th homicide in just 5 days.
Makes you wonder what's really going on. I mean, there's been a lot of trouble around here the last week, you know.
Dang, that's just, you know what I'm saying, a block from where I stay at. What if they come, you know what I'm saying, kick my door in or knock on my door and do me the same way? So you really just don't really know what to expect right now.
Now, for this triple homicide, the Clark County Sheriff tells me that they have no warrants issued and nobody in custody. Of course, we'll continue to follow this as they develop new leads and bring you any information as it becomes available. We are live in Clark County. Josh Berry, KARK4 News.
Josh, thank you. A local radio personality vanishes, and tonight authorities trying to track him down. Willard Moran, better known as DC, now considered a missing person. He's part of the morning radio show Heather in DC on Alice 107.7. The sheriff's office has checked DC's Cabot home, says his car was in the driveway, and there were no signs of forced entry or struggle. We are your local election headquarters, and here's some news that could affect where you vote in the next election. KARK4's Jonathan Athens joining us with the latest on this. And Jonathan, what's this all about?
Well, Jessica, here's the concept. They're called vote centers. And instead of going to your designated polling place, you would go to any of these vote centers in your county. But the stated goal is to make voting easier, but there's reason to think that these yet-to-be-defined proposals could eliminate some polling places.
When it comes to where you cast your ballot, some county election commissioners want state lawmakers to give counties the power to create vote centers. Susan Inman, who heads up the Arkansas County Election Commissions Association, says it's a growing movement.
I think it's great. I think it's a great idea.
The association is looking at laws in Indiana and Colorado to see what could be done in the natural state. Indiana requires its counties to have one vote center for every 10,000 active voters and one for every fraction under that number. If the law applied to Garland County, Arkansas, where just under 41,000 folks voted in the last election, that county would have 5 vote centers.
Hello?
But not everyone thinks it's a good idea. Former state lawmaker Gene Shelby is concerned it could mean fewer polling places.
I wouldn't support anything that was going to reduce access for voters to be able to vote.
Also in question, could vote centers be out of reach for people who don't have transportation? It's one of many questions folks on either side are wondering.
The Arkansas County Elections Commissions Association says it is in the very early stages of trying to hammer out the language. They say there are a lot of details to be figured out before they can put something before state lawmakers. Jessica, back to you.
Jonathan, thank you. On this, the anniversary of Pearl Harbor, a Little Rock lawmaker says Arkansas can do better for its veterans. Representative John Edwards has submitted a bill calling for the construction of a new veterans home. Nearly 150 vets were displaced in recent weeks when poor management and disrepair forced the state to close its veterans home in Little Rock.
On December 7th, 1941, America entered war. We created a whole new generation of veterans. But since that day, there have been other wars and there are new veterans.
Edwards says a new veterans home could cost about $20 million. The federal government would pick up most of that bill. Arkansas' share would be around $7 million. And today marks the 71st anniversary of the attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Nearly 2,400 U.S. service members were in the early morning attack back in 1941. It prompted the U.S. to enter World War II, and today a memorial service was held at the state capitol to honor those who survived and those who died. The Department of Veterans Affairs says there are only 21,000 World War II veterans alive in the natural state. Now to a KARK4 News update on the possible sale of Catholic-based Mercy Hospital of Hot Springs. Today, Little Rock Bishop Anthony Taylor met with the chair of the Mercy Health Board to talk about selling Mercy to another Catholic-based institution rather than Capella Healthcare. According to a statement released today, the chair agreed to bring the bishop's concerns to the next Mercy Board meeting scheduled to take place next week. Turning to money matters now. Lunch is light, very light at some local restaurants in Little Rock, and that means fewer bucks in cash registers at local diners, and some owners blaming it all on the holidays.
That's why you don't see people having their regular travel patterns, regular spending patterns. You know, they do have abnormal spending patterns such as group events, family get-togethers, office parties, things like that.
The tavern says it does offer gift certificates, which they say could come in as a nice little stocking stuffer. And the effort to feed hungry people across Arkansas is continuing tonight, and yeah, just take a look at this.
Food bank makes my tummy feel better. My daddy had his job made part-time. Now we go to the food bank where we can all eat.
Thanks, Pastor Humphrey, for opening your church to feed us.
Food bank keeps my dad from having to tell us he can't feed us tonight.
When we go to food bank, we get to eat real food. God bless food bank. We were so hungry.
Arkansas Food Bank feeds hungry kids.
To help, please visit arkansasfoodbank.org.
Powerful message of kids helping kids there, and the number to call right now, 340-4922. It's the last day of our Week of Giving campaign, and right now with me, Amy Reinhold, and you are a big part, you and your husband Judge, of making those spots we just saw there with those kids, talking about these little paper plates. Tell us what inspired you to do this.
Well, first of all, I'm from Arkansas originally, and I just have always been amazed at what a generous state we are. And Judge and I always want to find ways to get involved and help the cause. And he went over to Dewey Sims' place, Fishnet, in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and got to meet a lot of these amazing kids. And one of the things they do is they write down on these paper plates how they help, or how they're helped by food bank. And we were just blown away by the messages of thanks that they gave to food bank for all the help that they give them, and we wanted to focus on that.
Yeah, and they're so simple, but they pack such a punch when you read those plates, and those kids, they're reading the words of other children, but it shows you just how diverse these kids are, and there's so much need out there.
And that's the thing for us, it's not just one group of the population, it's a huge population of people in Arkansas that are hungry. 1 out of every 4 children in Arkansas does not know where their next meal is going to come from. And we just felt like that's wrong in a state that's so helpful and so generous. So we wanted to help get the word out. And we went to some wonderful friends of ours at Forest Park Elementary School, and so I wanted to give them a shout out because all those kids helped, and they read the plates that other children had written. And then we have some amazing friends in the movie industry. One of them is Dennis Beauchamp. He's a documentary filmmaker. And then Chuck Lavelle, who is actually a legendary keyboardist from the Rolling Stones. He's touring with them right now. He donated his time to create the music for the spots.
Well,
so we're just blown away.
It's just very powerful, and thank you so much for being here with us and for spreading the word about something that is so very important and something that you can make a difference. All you got to do is call our friends here, 340-4922. They're happy to take your donation, and every little bit matters.
Every bit helps. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Of course, thank you for being here. And from a championship effort in raising money for hungry families, we're going to head out to Little Rock's War Memorial Stadium for the state football championships. Jason Snavely there. Jason, what's going on out there?
Well, Jess, this is it. This is the final Friday night of the high school football season. The only game going on in the state tonight, the one getting ready to go behind me, the two-way state championship between Bearden and Junction City. We'll get you ready for kickoff coming up.
And we did it again. Much above average high temperatures here in Little Rock. Mid-60s this afternoon. After starting off in the mid-50s, we're into the 70s this weekend. Some places not out of the 30s early next week. Your forecast is straight ahead.
This is KARK 4 News at 6 in high definition with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Aaron Peters with your Razorback Nation report.